If you want to change the world, I'm here to remind you that change starts with you and me. We are interconnected. And this is a podcast about visualizing peace into the world. And before I get started, I'm not a doctor or psychologist. I just like to talk a lot, so please do your own research. Almost every night before I go to bed, I visualize peace. I think about people getting along. And yes, to me, it's real because I know it's real. And there is a little bit of science about this, but not a whole lot. But I'm just going to keep pushing. I know this to be true at the core of my being, that when you visualize before bed, you can alter the energies within your timeline and or pull in a timeline and move into a higher frequency. Again, I'm going to give you both worlds today because I like living in both worlds. Has any part of this been studied? Has anybody measured, is visualization just cute imagination or is something actually happening in the body? And this is what I found. Something's actually happening. So again, before I go to bed, I visualize in pictures people getting along. I see people holding hands, laughing, having picnics in the park, kids playing, flying kites, dancing, older people just going back and forth and talking. Maybe they're up and dancing. Maybe they're racing the kids. Maybe they're on a beach throwing a frisbee. Peaceful scenes. And in my mind, it's never just one kind of person. It's different cultures, different styles, different languages, different skin tones, different everything. It's just a mush of beautiful energy. And everyone's mixed like it's normal because this is how it's supposed to be. This is how we are at the core. We are loving beings. But some people allow the skin to distract, and the meat suit gets in the way. And it's so sad. Now, if you're clairvoyant like I am, you can see pictures in your head. You can actually picture it. And if you don't see pictures in your head, it's okay too. And I may say the word wrong, but I've learned that some people cannot see mental images. It is called aphantasia. So if you can't see it, don't panic. You can feel it, think it, sense it. Just meditate on it. You can even pray it if that's what you believe in is praying. You can speak it, write it, or just hold the intention and feel it through your mind and body to know it to be your truth. You have to be a kid again. And the best part about this is, this is where it gets interesting. There's an fMRI study you can look up by Gannis Thompson and Coslin on visual and mental imagery and perception. In simple words, they found that when people imagine objects and when they actually saw objects, the brain used a lot of the same visual machinery. So your inner images are not nothing. Your brain is responding. Your nervous system is listening. Your body is participating. And you could check that out at PubMed. Now, does that prove my peaceful picnic scene instantly changes the whole planet? Science would say no, not directly. But me, I'm going to say yes. I believe it matters. Because when we hold the image, you're not just doing something cute in the imagination. You're tuning yourself like an instrument into that frequency. Remember, everything exists. You just have to pull in that timeline, align with that frequency. Use your imagination because it's beautiful. It's there for a reason. So when I say I'm raising my frequency, I'm not just saying it to be cute little spiritual phrase. I'm actually talking about shifting my whole inner state. My thoughts, my emotions, my breath, my heart, my nervous system, my body, my spirit, all of it. It's tuning into my higher self. Your higher self is always talking to you. And as we know, some people here raise your frequency and they roll their eyes. That's fine. Let them be. Use another word. Call it nervous system regulation if you like to. Whatever makes you feel happy and brings peace. Use the word. It doesn't matter. You can also call it emotional coherence. Call it brain waves. Call it heart rate variability. Call it peace. Again, call it whatever doesn't make your eye twitch. But the point is this. When you move from fear, stress, resentment, panic, and survival into gratitude, love, compassion, peace, and possibility, something changes in you at a cellular level. I like to say it changes your DNA, but that's not what it does, not actual DNA. But it's just easier for me to comprehend and understand because I'm not a scientist. And if you're worried, just remember that your body knows the difference. Your body always knows what to do. And the science actually does measure frequencies in the body. Brain waves have frequencies. Heart rhythms have frequencies. Breathing has rhythm. Your nervous system has patterns. There's a well-known PNAS, P-N-A-S, study by Antone Lutz and Richard Davidson, where long-term meditators were able to self-produce high-amplitude gamma brainwave activity during compassion meditation. So when I say meditation can shift your frequency, I know the spiritual meaning is bigger, but the body also has measurable rhythms and electrical patterns. That part is real. There's also a 2025 scientific report study on heart rate variability biofeedback. It found that positive emotions like happy, peaceful, and excited were associated with higher coherence scores and more stable HRV frequencies, while negative emotions like anger, anxiety, boredom, and sadness were linked with lower coherence and more scattered rhythms. So again, when I say peace changes your frequency, science may say, well, positive emotions are associated with more stable physiological rhythms. And I'm like, yes, that's what I said. Just more syllables, bigger words. This is why I visualize before bed. Because when I visualize peace, I'm not feeding my body fear right before sleep. I'm not giving my nervous system a horror movie and then expecting it to rest. I'm not scrolling chaos, arguments, comments, drama, headlines, and everybody's nervous system having a group meltdown before I close my eyes. I'm choosing what I plant in my subconscious. And there's research on that too. You can look it up. Alison Harvey's study on unwanted pre-sleep thoughts in insomnia. It looked at imaginary distraction before sleep. And then the idea is simple. When your mind is holding a calming image, it has less room to run around like a little gremlin with a clipboard listing everything wrong with your life. That's why it's also good to journal before bed and look up red light therapy. And then there's also cancer research in the UK that says visualization, also called guided imagery, uses imagination to help people relax or relieve symptoms. They say people create images in the mind that can help them relax, feel less anxious, sleep better, and reduce pain. And Memorial Sloan Kettering says guided imagery has positive effects on pain, fatigue, stress, anxiety, depression, sleep, and recovery in patients with many types of illnesses, including cancer. How fear can lead to illnesses, but I did not know that fear can lead to death, but it makes sense. And I learned that in reading Edgar Cayce's book. He confirmed a lot of things that I have been led to tell the world, and it's just repeating itself. A lot of us seers are saying the same thing in different ways to reach the collective that which we are a part of. So you may hear somebody else say something in a different way, but it's the same message. You may not understand them, and you may understand me. You may not understand me, you may understand them. Because love is speaking through the collective, and there's a lot of messengers in the world. And a lot of us do not look like how we have been led to believe that one should look like who delivers messages. Because I don't look like anything in the books. Not at all. And I look like this for a reason. Everything is done on a purpose and for your highest good. Unless you get stuck in that energy and then you just start moving on because it no longer serves you for our highest good because you already know what you don't want. You got to move away from that energy. And again, with this cancer research in the UK, I want to make sure that this is not just daydreaming. This is a mind-body practice people use in real hospitals and cancer centers. You could check it out at cancerresearchuk.org. And please let me say this clearly because I love you and I don't want anybody playing with their life. I'm not telling anybody to skip doctors, treatment, surgery, chemo, radiation, medication, therapy, or anything else that you may need. Don't do this. Use wisdom, use doctors, use your intuition, use every tool that comes to you. And you have to remember, you are the answer to all you seek, and you are the manifesting tool. You receive information all the time. You just have to stop and learn how to listen again. You have to learn how to crawl before you walk because it's a muscle that has not been used for so long because it's been turned off as a child. But yes, there are documented stories and books where people say meditation, visualization, emotional healing, spiritual practice, and major lifestyle changes were part of their healing journey with cancer. One book people can look up is Radical Remission by Dr. Kelly Turner, a 2024 paper on the radical remission multimodal intervention says Kelly Turner developed that work after analyzing more than 1,500 cases of cancer survivors experiencing radical remission, also called spontaneous regression, across cancer types. Does that prove meditation also cured cancer? No. But does it show that there are many healing stories where people use deep inner work, emotional healing, spiritual connection, diet changes, support, intuition, and major life changes? Yes. And you could check that out at pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. It's PMC PubMed Central. It's basically the National Library of Medicine. And another source you can look up is Ansley Mears. Meares is an Australian psychiatrist. He published older cases reports with titles like Regression of Cancer After Intensive Meditation and Regression of Reoccurrence of Carcinoma, Carcinoma. I can't say that word, but anyways, the breast at mastectomy site associated with intensive meditation. These are on PubMed also. So yes, stories like this do exist in medical literature. But I want to be really upfront with this. Case reports are not the same thing as proof that meditation cures cancer for everyone. And yes, there are documented cases. There are cases that are not documented. And I am a firm believer that meditation can do more than just cure illnesses. It's very powerful. You can also jump timelines. And if you want more information on this, go ahead and check it out at National Library of Medicine. It's called Imagery and Hypnosis and Treatment of Cancer Patients. Because even if someone wants to argue about the biggest claims, they cannot argue with this part. When I visualize peace, I feel different. When I feel different, I behave different. When I behave different, I act different. I am not reacting, I'm responding. I affect the room. And when I affect the room affects the next room. That is how the collective moves. This is how energy spreads. We are interconnected. This is how frequency becomes behavior. And yes, I know that we are interconnected. This is not a belief. This is my truth because I've been shown with my own two eyeballs. And science even has language for this too. There's research on interpersonal physiological synchrony, which basically means people's bodies can sync up during interaction. Check out the book on my website called The Contagion Myth. It's by Thomas Cowan, Cowan. Probably saying the name wrong. It is what it is. I'm authentically being me who mispronounces a lot of words. Push forward. Do what scares you. Check out my latest TikTok account. It's all about doing shit that scares you. Because when I do something that scares me, you gain the bravery to do so unconsciously because we are interconnected. We're going along with the science having a language for this. The research on interpersonal physiological synchrony, which basically means that people's bodies can sync up during interaction. A systematic review and meta-analysis looked at autonomic nervous system synchrony, things like heart rate and physiological patterns between people. The effects are not always huge, and the research is complex, but the point is still important. We are not isolated little islands walking around in meat suits. We actually affect each other. Birds of a feather flock together. Check out that podcast. And I think there's a blog out there too. Just type in birds. It'll pop up. So when I say raise your frequency, I don't just mean sit there and imagine sparkles while treating everybody like trash. I mean, become the person who carries a different atmosphere, does not add poison to the room. Become the one who walks in and people's shoulders drop because your energy is not attacking them. That is high vibe frequency right there. And if you have a problem even attempting to do this, talk to love and tell love you are ready to be activated with DNA remembrance. It will happen. It happens. I read a story years ago. This guy told about how he just went out in the middle of nowhere and started screaming, "Wake me up." And oh boy, did he wake up, he said. He had an activation for sure. So again, this is a high vibe frequency. And visualization helps because visualization is rehearsal. In sports, rehab, and skill learning, mental rehearsal is real. There's a 2025 PNAS study on motor imagery found that imagining movements can help learning, not only for the imagined movements, but also for linked movements. So if the brain can rehearse movement, why can't I rehearse peace? Why can't I rehearse patience? Why can't you rehearse compassion? Why can't you rehearse the world you want to live in? We can do this. So when you visualize people getting along, you're practicing being someone who expects peace. You're practicing being someone who recognizes humanity. You're practicing being someone who doesn't let the world program you into fear all day. Because remember, fear leads to illness and death. It's in Edgar Casey's channeled message. Fear leads to death. And we wonder why your body feels unsafe. So choose peace on purpose. Take back your power. And it matters before bed because sleep is not just sleep. Sleep is when the body repairs, the brain processes, the nervous system resets, the subconscious is open, and the spirit can travel. And yes, sometimes when you do this, you can slip into lucid dreams or astral experiences. I know some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't force it, just relax. But I'm here to remind you, if your body ever freezes up and you feel your body departing from your physical body, it's sleep paralysis, but just focus on love and you'll be okay. That's where it happens right before astral travel. For myself, that is. You'll feel your body being pulled. So tonight, just try it. Pick one peaceful scene. Don't try to create a whole freaking movie unless you're just a natural at it or you just want to because you've been thinking about all kinds of crap all day. And I know I said to make a bedtime movie, but I've been doing this my whole life. So I'm basically a professional because I live in La La Land and I prefer it that way. Delulu works for me. And as someone once told me that fairy tales do not exist, they do exist. And if I said this, I apologize because of the fact that I had to record this more than once. But I'm writing a book and it's almost done about past lives. I remember this person. And in this life, our dads had the same name, the same job. It was wild and beautiful. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had in this body. So start simple. A park, a beach, a schoolyard, a block party, a bowling alley, a garden, a cookout, kids safe, people smiling, shoulders relaxed, jaws unclenched, different cultures, different languages, different styles, everybody just being. And journal if you have to before. Journal what you want to see. Journal it, and then go to bed and think about it. And while you do this, smell the food, feel the air, hear the laughter, see people helping each other. See others as you do yourself because they are you. You are interconnected. And if there's a catastrophe happening within your timeline, you can visualize the floods going away. Or if there's a fire, you can think of water taking out the fire. Or if there's a drought, you can think about water coming to those in need. Even those who are hungry across the world, visualize them getting the food and nutrients that they need. Everything exists. Everything exists. You just have to pull it within that timeline and let your body match the scene. Allow your body to be in that scene and live it. And you can even put your hand over your heart if you want to and say, may people be safe. May people soften. May people remember who they are. May I be peaceful. May I bring peace into the spaces I enter. And before you fall asleep, ask yourself, what is one tiny thing I can do tomorrow that matches the world I just pictured? One kind text, one apology, one boundary said with respect, one moment where you do not add fuel to the fire. You just walk away. One moment where you choose not to snap. One moment where you help someone. A moment where you let someone merge in traffic without acting like they personally attacked your bloodline. Think about it. If someone ever cuts you off, just think about how they have to use the bathroom really bad. That always makes me feel better because I've been there. I've been in traffic to where I cut someone off because I was rushing home because I had to use the bathroom. Even if it's not true, just think about it. Make it up in your head. They had to really go doo-doo or even pee-pee, whatever makes you happy. Well, overall, this is how frequency becomes life. Everything exists, and I say this over and over again because it does. In reality, you are a manifester. You are creating the world moment by moment. How you handle anger, how you handle disrespect, how you handle stress, how you handle triggers, and how you handle people who are different from you, and how you handle yourself when you are tired. Because there's a lot of people out there that live within the physical world only, and they think that the world is only changed by policies and headlines. And yes, some of those things do matter. But the world is also changed in kitchens, bedrooms, sidewalks, schools, cars, grocery stores, comment sections, and conversations. The collective changes when enough people stop feeding the same poison. Stop participating in negative and low energetic things. If you don't like it, delete it out of your life. If you're done with politics, block accounts. If you want to unfollow people, follow yourself and unfollow them. And let go of the guilt. You're not obligated to do anything for anyone. That is something I had to overcome as an adult. I had to relearn stuff. Even when I go to the store to buy a gift, I have to think to myself, am I buying this out of obligation, or am I buying this because I generally just really like to see this person happy? So yes, again, I believe visualization raises your frequency, and I believe it helps your mind, body, and spirit. And it moves you out of survival and into coherence. It helps you sleep better at night. And because we are interconnected, I know it touches more than just you and me. When we do this, we alter the collective. And again, start playing like children. Use your imagination. Get a coloring book and start coloring. Because we have been led to believe that growing up means stop playing, stop imagining, stop being silly, stop laughing, stop skipping. We have been told so many lies, and it's because society is controlled by negative energy because people allow it to. But once you start participating in the negative and low heavy energies, you can alter the timeline into a higher one. And you're going to start seeing people roller skating in the streets, playing with their kids and acting a fool, laughing and giggling and just being themselves. You're going to see people wearing the clothes that they want to wear without even caring what other people think. So be weird, be alive, play, because it heals you. And a lot of adults don't even know how to play because they were never allowed to play. And if you have a friend that was brought up that way, ask them, what is a toy that you always wanted when you were little and you never got to get? I don't even know if that's right. Never got to get? But anyways, you never received. Or a toy they really loved and they would love it again. And go get it for them. So start skipping, blow bubbles, go outside, sit under a tree, read a book, and dance badly. I can't dance, but I dance. Yeah. Play with your dog. Make something. Imagine peace. Your dreams are going to shift. Your body is going to heal. You're going to wake up softer. You're going to respond in a beautiful way. Yeah, probably not at all, because you're able to walk away now. We have an inner world and imagination for a reason. Your healing touches more than just you. You are interconnected. And anytime you want to be negative about something, think to yourself, do you want to add to the fire? What are you going to get about it? What are you going to get out of it by adding to something that's negative already? So use discernment, do your own research, don't throw away common sense. Use doctors. There's holistic doctors, there's Western doctors, there's Chinese medicine, there's all kinds of things out there. There's a lot of doctors who are actually waking up and merging Western medicine with other modalities. And I want you to remember how powerful you are. You are interconnected. And to talk about this interconnectedness, I brought in Teal Swan before in a dream, and Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani, I just said hi to. I was on a bike. And Teal Swan answers some questions for me. She's pretty damn funny. She has a different sense of humor, but she's fucking funny. Thank you, Teal, if you come across this, for answering my questions. You were right. And there's going to be more podcasts talking about this in different ways, because this is something I'm really passionate about. And you should too. Talk to your friends. Start a meditation group. Do it at least 1 minute a day. And if you're interested in being within meditation that's going on right here, if you are a woman that's awakened, message me, as I am starting a meditation group every day at a certain time. It's no cost. It shouldn't be any cost. The cost of beautiful energy and raising the frequency of the timeline and within yourself and others. And that's a beautiful thing. And again, thank you for being here. Please do your own research. I stress this over and over again because it's the truth. When you find out your own answers, no one can sway you. When they ask you where'd you hear it from, you can say, oh, Rheanna, but then I did more research. And guess what? It's true. They can't sway you because you saw it. For those who need to see things, on paper that is. And until next time, thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful experience.